Thousands of years before the Targaryen conquest of Westeros, the legendary Valyrian freehold was established in the Valyrian Peninsula, where stories say they were once humble sheep herders until happening upon dragons living within the volcanic landscape of the 14 Fires. Over many years, they bonded with the dragons, some claiming they used sorcery and magical horns to control them, then coming to rule a large and powerful territory. 4,700 years before conquest, the Valyrian freehold fought the last of 5 wars against the Ghiscari Empire to the east, utterly vanquishing the territory, burning their capital, and salting the land so nothing would ever grow again. They then invaded and conquered western Essos, leading to mass migration into Westeros, first by the fleeing Andals who fought the First Men and Children of the Forest, conquering the southern half of the continent, and then later by exiled Rhoynar, who settled in Dorne and allied with House Martell. After thousands of years, the Valyrian freehold had successfully expanded, now stretching across the continent. Yet it was not to last, for in the year 126 before conquest, a young Valyrian maiden had a prophetic vision, seeing the destruction of her homeland. Trusting in his daughter's gifts, Aenar Targaryen sold their family lands, moving all his people and possessions far into the west, settling on the island of Dragonstone. With them came 5 living dragons, including Balerion the Black Dread, and they became allies of the Valerions and Celtigars, who shared their Valyrian heritage and lived on the nearby islands of Driftmark and Claw Isle. House Targaryen was considered only a minor aristocratic power within the hierarchy of the freehold, and so their departure was seen by many as an act of cowardice and political resignation. Yet only 12 years later, in 114 BC, the doom struck and the Valyrian Peninsula shattered, destroying the central government and capital city of the freehold, killing nearly all their dragons and dragon lords. The cause of the horrifying cataclysm remains unknown, with some believing it may have been a natural disaster like massive volcanic eruptions across the 14 Fires, while others believe it was prompted by an accident involving magic, or else may have been orchestrated by powerful Valyrian enemies, such as the Faceless Men of Braavos, an order and city founded by slaves of the freehold. In any case, when the event was finished, the age of Valyria was gone, and what followed was known as the Century of Blood, seeing competing cities, states, and warlords of Essos warring for power. But not all were willing to give up on the ancient realm, with a surviving dragon lord named Aurion declaring himself first emperor of Valyria and raising an army of 30,000 soldiers, leading them south with the aim of retaking the territory. Yet neither he, his dragon, nor his army were ever heard from again. The city of Volantis, where many of Valyrian blood still ruled, also attempted to reunite former freehold lands, but they too ultimately failed, with those of the political Tiger Party even sending a fleet to retake the Valyrian Peninsula, which also disappeared, never heard from again. But on the island of Dragonstone, House Targaryen had survived and was now in a position of power, as they were among the last dragon lords of the known world. A century later, the head of House Targaryen, Aegon the Conqueror, and his sister wives, Rhaenys and Visenya, all descendants of Daenys the Dreamer and her brother husband, Daemon the Glorious, rode their dragons west, leading a small army to invade Westeros, and quickly gaining allies and soldiers, conquering every territory south of the Wall, save for Dorne, which successfully resisted them, only later joining the United Realm voluntarily through a marriage alliance. The Maesters of Westeros claim the visions of Daenys the Dreamer were written down in a work known as Signs and Portents, which long ago was lost. However, 3 of its pages claim to have been preserved in the Book of Lost Books, written by Archmaester Marwyn.